Hi, I'm Mr. Miyagi and this is Mr. Miyagi's workshop. Well, today we got a little surprise that a customer dropped this bike off last night. It's a 1975 CB200. It's cafe style. Our job today is to relocate this battery. They have a small battery in here that we're going to remove, and then this one gets mounted up underneath the seat here. So this ought to be fun. So let's get to it. Okay, I didn't film it all, but I ended up having to remove the carburetor, fuel tank, and whatever, and then a few other items up in here to get this little battery that was stuffed down in the hole. But I've got it figured out. I've figured out what the main power source is right here, and then we're going to rerun those wires back up. I'm also going to change out this has the old glass style fuse in it. I'm going to put in one of the newer bladed fuses and such, and I'm going to reuse these ends so that I can get them to fit back onto the plug-ins, the original plug-ins, and then extend it up into where I'm going to put the battery. So right now I'm getting ready to build a battery box. I have some heavy gauge tin here that I'm going to do the box out of, and we'll get to it. And what I've also done here, this is a charging wire, and then this is the main wire that goes through the system that charges up the electrical, but this wire here actually comes from the charging unit. Okay, we got battery box in place. It's all bolted down. Batteries in there. Put this strapping on there so we can get the battery out, but it fits in there pretty snug. I've got some sticky back foam that I've lined the whole battery case with to kind of hold it in place there. Now what I'm also doing here is I'm eliminating the old glass fuse there, and I'm putting in a blade fuse for the gentleman. I think it's going to be a little better. It's sometimes hard to find those fuses if you're out and about somewhere. All right, so that'll work. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add on a new end. This has got different ends. The other ones actually use little lugs, and this has the push-on style. So we're going to install that on. Okay, I got the right size clip to go on there. We're also going to solder here a little bit. Right now I've got to find out where I put my ground wire that I made up. Everything disappears on this. What's with that? All right, well, I have two wires I have to solder up here, and why I'm soldering is I just get better connections with everything if I solder. So I usually solder all my connections, even my wire splices I'll solder together. It just helps these connections here, especially on the grounds. I always like to solder these things. All right. And one little end here we have to do. All right. They're all soldered together. Let's put some heat shrink on. Somewhere around here I've made up another one of these ground cables, but I have no idea where I put it. All right, so feed this down in there. Put the ground cable one on. Put in a new ground spot here. Let's see if this thing's going to start. Okay, we got the battery in place, built the box and painted it and mounted it, and I put in one of the blade style fuses and rerouted the wire, fired the bike up, kind of got the carbs tuned back in a little bit. These filters are kind of crap. The owner should replace these. Also found that the bike is slightly overcharging. That's probably why this battery kind of went out. It's putting out like 15.2, so it's really not good on these old batteries and stuff. It should have been down around 14.2, but I'll talk to him about, maybe you should install an upgraded rectifier regulator in there, and that'd help him out tremendously. Other than that, the bike runs pretty darn good. I'm not going to fire it up right now because I got to go around and kick it, and I don't feel like kicking right now. It takes, what, 2 kicks? Maybe 2 kicks, but anyway. And then there's the carburetors could be cleaned because I turned this one on. This one was leaking a little bit through the float valve. The carbs could probably use a good cleaning too. But other than that, it's a nice little bike. It runs good. I think it'll make him a happy deal. But now that this is done, and here we get. There, the cafe bike. So if there's, like always, if there's any questions or comments, you can put them in the comment section below, or you can send them to my email address at tmiyagi@hotmail.com. Now, if you've liked this episode, please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget that ringy-dingy button over there for the next episode coming up. So y'all be safe out there, and I hope to see you on the road. Ciao.